Good morning. Welcome to Crocker's Crazy Living. It is Sunday the 7th. Yesterday in my video said it was the 7th. It was the 6th. I was mixed up a little bit. Today is Sunday the 7th of April, and it's almost 11 o'clock in the morning. Today I am going to make a new salad. This is a Greek potato salad. My family and I were invited to a potluck today, so I am making this because I wanted to make something different. And it calls for 2 pounds of petite white or red potatoes. I have both. I bought a 5-pound bag at Sam's and they're mixed, so I got both of those. I'm boiling them now in some salted water. You just boil them until they're fork tender. And then it's 1 cup of pitted kalmata olives, 7 ounce oil packed sun-dried tomatoes, 4 ounces of capers drained and reserve the brine, 1 red onion thinly sliced. I have just regular white sweet onion I'm going to use. Half a cup of fresh dill. I don't have quite a half a cup, but that's okay. And half a cup of feta cheese crumbled. And my feta cheese is a combination of tomato and basil. And then for the dressing, it's a half a cup of extra virgin olive oil, 1 half cup of red wine vinegar, 2 cloves of garlic pressed or minced, 2 teaspoons of dried mustard, 2 teaspoons of dried thyme, 2 teaspoons of dried oregano, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of finely fresh ground black pepper. So we're going to get busy getting all these other components together while my potatoes are cooking. I'm just going to mix it in a big bowl. Got some other salad I got to take too, just a regular salad. And that oregano, thyme, salt and pepper. What I might do is I might go ahead and make the dressing and then add the olives and the capers and the the sun-dried tomatoes to the dressing, and then just pour it over the potatoes and the onions when the potatoes are done. I'm going to check my potatoes real quick. Stab them with a fork with that. It's too hot. Get my serving fork here. Yep, just gonna let that cook a little bit while I get the dressing ready, because a few of the white ones are kind of fork tender, but the red ones are not. So we're just gonna let that cook. I'm going to go ahead and use my big mixing bowl for this. Because I tend to be a sloppy mixer when I mix everything together. It tends to be sloppy. So I am just going to make it in this bowl, and then you want to add your potatoes. You want to drain your potatoes, and you want to cut them into bite-sized pieces, and you want to make this salad while it's still warm. So, I mean, you can serve it room temperature or cold. I'm going to serve it room temperature because the recipe is saying that when you put the dressing on while the potatoes are warm, it absorbs the flavor of the dressing because they are warm. So that's what my plan is. I'm going to add the feta cheese when I get to the party. I'm not going to put it on when the potatoes are warm. I'm going to wait to get there, and then I'm just going to sprinkle the cheese over the top. And this is what the cheese looks like. It's just a small package of feta cheese. It's already pre-crumbled, and it's tomato basil. And it sounded good to me. They had garlic, but since there's garlic already in it, yeah, that smells really good. And it's pre-crumbled for you. I like that. I mean, I might as well do that as opposed to trying to buy a block of it and crumbling it myself. So I'll keep that in the fridge. And we'll go ahead and make this dressing. I'm wondering if I should make a double batch of dressing, because I used about half of that bag of potatoes, and I'm going to cut them up into bite-sized pieces. So I'm thinking I should double my dressing recipe. So I'm going to use 1 cup of olive oil. Cup measure too. So some good olive oil. So let me see what I have up here. Garlic butter, infused herbs. Might have to use that. Let's see what this one is. Oh yeah, I don't want that one. What's this one? Oh, that's not enough. I gotta get more Tuscan olive oil. Okay, I need a cup. I'm gonna end up using this whole thing, I think. Let me get my other measuring cup. Alright, so 1 cup of olive oil. That's the rest of my bottle, and I don't have enough. Alright, I'm going to have to get more for sure. Let me see what else I'm going to use. This is butter flavored olive oil. Don't know what that's going to taste like in my salad. This is a wood smoked. It doesn't smell too bad. It's not real strong. This is an olive wood smoked olive oil, but I only need barely 1/4 cup more to make my 1 cup, so I'll just use that. I definitely got to take a trip down to the olive oil store and get more olive oil for sure. Running low. All right, so I'm going to do 1 cup of olive oil. One cup of red wine vinegar. I don't like the way that pours. I need to take this lid off. I have the hardest time getting these things off. Let me see what I can use to pop that thing off of there. Where are my... Looking for my hemostats. I organized this thing so nice and neat. Half the time I can't even find where I put it. No, it's not there. Okay. Nope. It's going to be on this side. Yep. It's not going to work. They just pop right off. That doesn't work. Shoot. I can't get it off right now, so we'll just have to squeeze out 1 cup of red wine vinegar. Alright, there we go. 2 cloves of garlic. I have the jarred chopped garlic, minced garlic. Got my fresh dill. Just going to use, see, 2 cloves. I think a teaspoon is a clove. Well, I'll use 4. Usually my garlic cloves are pretty big. Okay. Oh, I had fresh garlic too. I just bought some fresh peeled garlic. Oh well, darn it. That's what I bought that for. 2 teaspoons of dry mustard. Wash off this. And of course I can't get it in there. One. I think I'm only going to do 3. Because dry mustard can be very strong and sometimes overwhelming. Alright, hold on, I gotta check my potatoes. Yeah, these are fork tender. So I'm gonna call those done. I'm gonna drain my potatoes real quick. 2 teaspoons of dried thyme. So I'm going to use about a half a tablespoon. Same amount on the dried oregano. About a half a tablespoon. 1 teaspoon of salt. Yep. 2 teaspoons of salt. And I'm only going to do 1 teaspoon of pepper. I don't think I need 2. Now I'm going to whisk this together. If I can find my whisk. That smells amazing. Okay. Get something to put my whisk on because I'm going to need it again. Okay. Now to my dressing, I'm going to add, I've already got stuff on my recipe. I always make a mess. 1 cup of petite kalmata olives. 1 cup. I might stick with the 1 cup because some people don't like olives. I'm trying to drain some of this off. Where did here's my measuring cup. Some people don't like olives. I know some of my kids don't like all olives. I know Amanda used to love olives, and then when she got pregnant with one of her kids, they didn't like the olives, and it always made her ill, so she gave up on the olives. I'm kind of excited to see how this salad turns out, because when we have get-togethers, we always seem to have the same foods. 1 cup. And maybe 1 cup in the smoothie. Maybe I should just use this rest of this jar. I don't know. So if this turns out good, I'd like to make it again, because this weekend we're going to a family wedding. 7 ounces of oil-packed sun-dried tomatoes, drained and chopped. All right. Let me pour that juice back in this jar. Try to get stuff out of my way as I'm working. All right, what do I need now? Sun-dried tomatoes, drained and chopped. So I'm going to use this whole jar. This oil smells amazing. I had the hardest time at the store finding sun-dried tomatoes. This is an olive oil. I could have used that for my dressing. Pour a little bit of that in there. All right, so I'm going to have to get my cutting board out and chop these up. I had the hardest time finding these things in the store. Come to find out, my store, my grocery store, that is not a specialty store or anything, had it over by the pasta sauce. Kind of a weird place for it, I thought, but you know how that is. Trying to drain these off. Yeah, these are big pieces of tomato. You definitely don't want huge chunks. I see why they want you to chop them up. I could have used my, ooh, these are hard to cut. Oh, those are hard to cut. I'm going to have to get my little chopper out for that. I'll have to get my electric chopper right here. Let me set this big bowl aside. Need a little bit of room. I should have put an apron on about my dress. I'll make a huge mess. All right, some dried tomatoes. Goodness for this little handy dandy chopper. It's electric, and yes, I have to clean it, but for something like this, it's worth it, because it only takes a couple zaps and you're done. All right, plug it in. I thought I had it plugged in. I don't have it plugged in. All right, excuse me if this is too loud. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Let me see. There's a chunk down. Yep, I gotta do that one again. Zap that one again. I don't know how people chop this by hand. They're really dried tomatoes are kind of rubbery. All right, get this in the sink. It's a nice little chopper. I keep it handy right here by my counter most of the time. Yeah, that's pretty good, I think. It looks pretty chopped up. I got some of that olive oil in there. Really good flavored olive oil. Sun-dried tomatoes have a really good flavor. They're intense, but they're dried, so they're chewy, kind of chewy. Oop. I don't need to splash this on my dress. Put that aside. All right, what else? Sun-dried tomatoes. 4 ounces of capers drained and reserve brine. I don't know why it says to reserve the brine. Why do we need to reserve the brine? I don't know why it doesn't say anything about using the brine. My husband likes extra caper. That's 4 ounces. That's the whole bottle. The whole bottle. That's a cute little bottle. All right. 1/2 cup of fresh dill, roughly chopped. I'm not using a 1/2 cup. I'm going to, some of this, I only had 1 package of dill at the store. And it was starting to yellow. So that means it wasn't the freshest it could have been. I bet this is almost a 1/2 cup by the time I get it all chopped up. It smells so good. Whew, it's nothing better but fresh dill. I need to grow some dill. I was trying to find dill at the store when I was getting plants. I didn't see any because I would like to grow some dill for sure. I make pickles. I use a lot of recipes that call for fresh dill. I never have it. All right, a little bit more. And then discard the stems. The stems you don't eat. Okay, let me wash my hands. Ooh. Look at all this dill on my finger. Ooh, look at that. It's all on the knife. All this dill on my fingers. Okay. Okay, so I have all that in my big bowl here. My big bowl. And okay, it says, all right, yeah, bring it. Oh, they wanted me to put all this in a jar with a lid and shake it up. I don't like to do that because sometimes my lids aren't, they're not leak proof when they're not sealed, and I shake it and it leaks out. So I think the way I did it is fine. It tells you just to add all the dressing stuff together. The potatoes are done cooking. They can easily be pierced Drain them. When the potatoes are cool enough to handle, cut them in half or into bite-sized chunks, depending on how big they are. While they're still warm, drizzle the reserved caper brine and toss and set aside to cool. While they're still warm. Okay. Let me get another. Let me get the pot that I actually used to cook them in. That's interesting. I'm praying that this is going to be a really good recipe because I've never made this before, but I'm praying it's going to be good. Because I really would like this to turn out good. It sounded so good. The photograph of this looked delicious. I honestly could not wait to try this. Yeah, they're kind of warm still, but that's okay. They're cooked. All right, I'm just going to figure out where I'm going to put my, there we go, potatoes in here. Get these cut up quickly before they cool down too much. I am going to just make this dressing and pour everything over it while it's still hot. Because it did say the dressing gets sucked up really nicely while the potatoes are still warm. And that's the way with every potato salad, I think, in my opinion. I love these little potatoes. This time like I said, I got a 5-pound bag of mixed red and white at Sam's. I normally like to go to Detweiler's and buy these because I don't know where they get them from, but they have the best creamer potatoes I've ever eaten. They're so good. But I didn't go up there. I went to Sam's instead. They all seem to be pretty cooked pretty well. I don't know what the brine would do. I mean, it's got salt. Maybe I shouldn't do that because I already got salt in my dressing. I had salt in my potato water, but they don't taste salty. Well, maybe they need the salt. Potatoes are boring. They don't have a whole lot of flavor unless you put the flavor into them. I should have paused you for this part. This is the boring part. Not very many people want to sit here and watch me cut potatoes. Alright, so I got my potatoes cut up. And I'm going to pour that brine over them. Just nice and easy. And let me mix them up a little bit. And then it says let it set aside to cool. But I'm not going to do that because they're going to cool down while we're waiting to go to the potluck. So, here's my dressing with all the components to the salad. Oh, it looks so good. I'm going to dump these potatoes. I should have just did this. Because the brine's going in there anyway. I don't know why I did all that separate. Didn't really need to. Now I'm going to toss these potatoes, this dressing. I made a double batch of dressing because I thought the potatoes were going to be more than this. I might boil more potatoes. If I boil another handful of potatoes, then it'll be, because I doubled the dressing. I really shouldn't have. Alright, I'm going to show this to you anyway. I'm going to take a picture of it and post it to my community page when I go to serve it. Here's the salad. It looks delicious. It really does. It smells good. I'm just going to get a taste of it. I am going to go ahead and boil another handful of potatoes. I'm going to boil up another handful of these potatoes. I'm going to let this marinate. I'm just going to let it sit here on the table and marinate. But it needs more potatoes because I doubled that dressing. But now I know. See, when I go and tweak recipes, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But I do think if I add more potatoes, it'll be fine. And then when I go to put that feta cheese on it, oh my God, it's going to be so good. It's a different kind of a salad, but hey, it's amazing. Looks amazing. Maybe I'll put just a sprinkling of dry dill on there too. I don't have very much dill weed. Just a little. All right. That's it for Crackers Crazy Living today. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have not yet subscribed to my page and you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button below. Give me a like, thumbs up. I would definitely appreciate that. Ring the bell and share me with your friends, and I will see you next time. I will post this recipe in the description box. If you have questions or comments, please leave that in the comment section. I will do my best to answer you. And that's it. Until next time with a new recipe from Crackers Crazy Living. Have a wonderful week, everybody, and thank you for joining me. Bye.